So I would like to just contribute here, and I'm sure Vishwajit, you would love to hear, from the corporate side in terms
Yes,
of what our experiences have been. Would love to, learn more about how you as an institute are preparing your students for corporate life. But from where, whether it's the IT services ecosystem where I come from, or now, the deep tech product platform ecosystem I'm in currently, employability factor is abysmally poor. I'll be very, very, very honest here. We have to work together, Vishwajit, to
definitely.
improve, the employability factor. Now, what does that mean? Now, I don't know for what reason. Uh, One way of saying is I don't know for what reason. The other way, we know what are the reasons. Students, they come with a impression that this is a 8 to 9 hours job
Mhm.
every day. Now, we enlighten them at the time of interview that this is not a 48 hours a week job. We have so much work because we are building everything from scratch. Everything is research and innovation driven. We are building the market ecosystem because AI and manufacturing is as good as nil.
Yeah.
So, building market ecosystem, number one. Number two, building everything from scratch. Number three, innovation. We can't finish our job in 48 hours, howsoever smart you are. And if I can make a provocative statement here, it's a stupid argument today going on smart smart work versus hard work.
Mhm.
Why I say stupid? Because all of us here have basic intellect. Now, whether we work, first hour or 16th hour, we are expected to put in smart work. But 8 hours doesn't finish the job. There is so much to do in our country. This is a first world studio. All of us felt when we were there in the lane outside of this building, there's a third world lane. Now there is so much of work we have to do.
Yeah.
Now, how can we finish all this in 8 hours of job, 48 hours a week? So, students coming from institutes, whether it is premium or whether it is tier one, they come with an impression that now I'll do my job until 6 p.m., 7 p.m., go home, relax, etc. But we tell them over here, this is not the case. Now, please decide whether you want to join Bert Labs or not. So, this is one area where we would like to work with institutes and train them that why this is needed, why fundamentally this is needed for you, for us as a team, and for our country. So, this is point number one. Point number two, there is zero understanding, even though they go through internship, corporate internship, even though you have those clubs and those clubs also have a hierarchy. But that training is no from your side you are providing the training. From the institute side, the training is being provided and students they learn. But are they viewing it from the perspective that I am learning this to become part of the corporate world? Probably no. Because in the corporate world, when they come very, very raw. They don't understand how to write an email. They don't understand how to communicate with a senior. All that as fundamental as that needs to be given a training on. And we have a formal classroom training, and then we have the on the job training which every leaders have to give. So the employability factor very poor, and all of us, whether it's
Yeah.
your organization, whether it's the institute, whether it's the corporate world, need to work together. And I genuinely uh, make a plea here that we should be doing it. It's too little, and too less, which is currently happening. But we have to do it. It's urgently required. And we would be reaching out to you soon, and we would be reaching out to all the institutes for us to, one, be part of, the institute where we help them understand in their third year, in their fourth year, take those classroom classes while they are in college, and then have specific programs where they appreciate this, and we don't have to train them on these basic corporate etiquette because there is a time and there's a cost factor.
So adding to that,
Yeah,
right? Really, the differentiating or the leading trailblazing institutions are already doing it, but they're doing it in small silos, which has to be
sure,
brought to light.
sure,
So what usually, as in what I've observed, is that in the second year they give an industry elective.
sure,
In the industry elective is basically, a technology that you're working. What you do is you prepare the, the high level overview, and then the academician kind of prepares it in an academic way. That way it can be structured within the academic constraints.
sure,
And then, you go once or twice, and then you visit and you teach them, and the rest of the time the faculty that has come to your place and got trained kind of, takes over that paper.
sure,
So once that elective is done, the person is kind of pre-vet,
sure,
and the person is going to take it only if he is interested genuinely.
sure,
Then there is a center of excellence. These are for companies that have, every year requirement and need specialized talent and not getting it. So they set up a center of excellence.
sure,
In the center of excellence, you will have a lot of projects or R&D that you would want to do,
sure.
but because of the bandwidth or the, constraint, you may not be
Hmm.
doing everything.
Sure,
So you usually give it to that center of excellence, and the students who are already a little wet on your, technology, come
sure,
in there and work during or after college. So
sure,
they develop those industry projects, but never, it will not be at the grade at which you do it in house, but
sure.
it still be a prototype that you can test it out.
Yeah.
So then this happens throughout the third year.
Hmm.
And then once in the fourth year, there is a year long internship.
Hmm.
So they come to your company at a stipend.
Sure,
So when they come to your company at a stipend, and then, they work for a year.
sure,
So one thing with freshers is stickiness.
sure.
So they
Absolutely.
they run away very fast for smaller amount. But
Sure,
here the student is there with you for a year because he has to get his academic course completion.
sure.
So once that is done, so by the time he completes fourth year,
Hmm.
he's as good as 1.5 years experience guy,
Sure.
and then you hire him at a fresher's price.